Welcome back to another very special episode of Grim Reaper RC, and in today's video we're going to be going over how well does the Traxxas / 4x4 Ultimate Edition last. And this thing has been basically going for me for over 7 years, so I'm going to keep you guys updated on everything that has happened to it and that is going to happen to it. So make sure you guys stay tuned for this video. It's going to be absolutely insane. Grab your RC, start wrenching, start cleaning, do whatever you have to do. Watch some Grim Reaper RC, kick back, enjoy, and let's get right into it. So this poor bad boy right here, this thing is absolutely insane. We have a custom airbrushed body on here. This is the Proline Racing body. I'm not too sure what exactly the name of the body is, but I know it is a Proline body. I can tell you because there is the sticker right there. So this is the Proline body. I had to do some custom modifications. Now you guys have seen it was one of my biggest videos on the channel. It has received almost 44,000 views between shorts and on the original video itself. It was upgrading to the G3 motor inside of the Traxxas 4x4 Ultimate Edition, and this is basically a pre-runner to that video. Now this thing is upgraded to the 9s, but we're going to put that to the side and we're going to talk about the body a little bit. Now I've had to do some custom modifications to this to collaborate with all of the upgrades going on. Now you guys are going to want to do is, I usually build my cars around bodies, but this one was a little bit different. I already had this one and I actually found this body that fit this one perfectly. I wasn't into painting at the time. This body is extremely old. I still do have the original Fox body that this came with, and I will tell you guys all of the original stock parts that are on it, but this basically is the body right here. Now I had to cut holes and drill small holes everywhere inside of this and tape it up just so that it could survive. Now I had to cut holes so that the wind could go through because this thing just catches and does a wheelie. I could wheelie this thing from a standstill on the grass. It's absolutely insane, especially with these grippy tires on here. So, bunch of little holes to let the air through. I have a bunch here. Hopefully this one keeping this piece down here just like a real car. I'm hoping that this adds some more force induction, pushing down onto the windshield and kind of making its vortice around here. The more vortices around the car, the more it will be planted to the vehicle. Now I'm glad it does have this little wing here. I do have to add another little screw right there. Now, I am going to cut this out in the future, but for now I think it's fine having this open here because I do also have the tire rack, which sits about here, and then this part is open. So, should be all set on the body. I love this body. It looks absolutely insane. I'll give you guys a little close-up of the skull on here that's airbrushed. It looks absolutely insane. I can't wait to get into airbrushing. That's going to be very soon. We have that inside of the studio now. So excited. Super, super, super cool. I usually do rattle can spray painting, but that is beside the fact because we have this absolute insane beast to talk about. Now it is raining out and I am going to take it out just so that I can clean the car without really having to clean it and I can have some fun. So, starting with the most boring thing, we have the BF Goodrich tires on the back. These are the original tires from the car itself, which is absolutely awesome. I think that's a really cool just feature. Like, these are super old. I think this car is in and around 7 years old, maybe even a little bit older. I'm thinking it's, yeah, I think it's in and around 7 to 10 years old. I'll pull out the paper and see when I got it later on. I do actually keep a stock list of when I purchase every RC and how much I've put into them. I think you guys should too, just so that you know how much you're spending on everything. So, not that it like matters because you're going to buy it anyways, but to keep track. So this is the original drive shaft. That is one of the only original pieces. We also have the original 25mm battery post, just because I've been using the same battery in this thing basically. We have the original side handles, which I'm happy I was able to keep those. The original shocks in the original body post. That's everything that's everything stock. Everything else is upgraded on here. So now let's get into the fun part. What is upgraded on this RC car? So we have the lockup ST tires. These are absolutely insane, super grippy. They're good on the street. I use them on the street and they're not getting too worn. I use this thing all the time. Super fast. And these are still nubby as as they ever were. It's insane. And they haven't even really split that much. I've put so many different beads of glue around them before I actually drove the car, so it was super locked in for the locked ups. That wasn't a pun, I said that by accident. So now we do have the RPM spare tire rack on here, the RPM mud guards, which is awesome. I told you guys the Hobbywing G3 motor, which just rips. I believe that's 5600 kV, if I am not mistaken. 5400 kV. This thing is an absolute burner. This thing rips. You guys can see right there, 5400 kV. This thing is a screamer. We have the, let's see, Easy Run Max 10 ESC in here from Hobbywing, or SCT. I believe this is the SCT version that we have in here, which is awesome. I love it. Has the XT60 plugs. Now you guys are like, oh, what's going on with this? Why is it a little burnt? Well, let me tell you, because I had a chassis fire. My chassis caught on fire on this RC car. That was the reason for me having to do all of these upgrades. So as you guys can see, it has the brand new dark gray series of the LCG chassis on here. I already have a screw coming through right here. Jeez. Bash this thing hard. Bash and blast. All right, so this is the chassis, brand new one, because it actually burnt down. I had a small, I believe the engine caught on fire, and I was actually able to save the ESC. This is the original ESC. I had to get a new motor. I had to get a new chassis. I had to get a new rear differential. I had to get a whole new everything. You guys can actually see where the fire was on the shocks. The shocks are still burnt everywhere from it. I was able to put it out fairly quickly. I do have some safety precautions into play. I'm not saying that I'm like a safety guy over here where I'm like, hey, don't do that. But, you know, we do have some safety precautions into play if something happens. A few lipo bags as well. I also was able to take the battery out before it got too dangerous. So if you do have a fire in your RC car, if there is time for you to get out that battery before it gets extremely dangerous, I mean, you know, try to rip it out. Don't burn yourself, but try to rip the battery out. We have some lights in here that are absolutely super bright. I love them. They're absolutely insane. I believe they just plug straight into the ESC, and that, not into the ESC, into our receiver box, which is a different receiver box because somehow the flame skipped over to here, or I don't even know, the heat traveled through the line. I have no idea, but the box got burnt somehow and the ESC was fine. So we had all different melted parts. I believe this is even a new part here because this melted. We still have some burn on top of the, let's see, yeah, we still have some burn on top of the servo there, which is okay. It's not bad. It's not dirt, but it's definitely burnt. So that's fine. Servo still survives, still turns and everything. I actually just broke a tie rod. I'm going to add that short in the end of the video. Yeah, it's a slow-mo video. I ended up jumping it, and it jumped and landed like such on the front left tire, and it broke the tie rod somehow. And these tie rods are the heavy-duty ones. These things are super thick. I mean, they're basically as thick as my pinky. So they are heavy-duty. Speaking of heavy-duty, we have the heavy-duty drive shafts in here, which are absolutely awesome. Definitely suggest putting the heavy-duty drive shafts on here. These things break all the time if you have the stock ones, especially with the upgraded power in here. It just doesn't handle it well. Now, many of you probably have a Arma, so the Arma chassis brace that comes across, that is by Traxxas. Traxxas definitely copied Arma with it, and I am completely fine that they did because this thing is definitely perfect. Works as a little handle as well, so you don't have to bend and grab your RC by the bumpers. So this is super solid, ties into the front, ties into the rear. You do have to take your sound module out if you do want this though, even though you could just place your sound module somewhere else, like right here. It's not a big deal. Those are really easy to place, and if you want something upgraded, you could probably get the small S1 sound kit and place it in a better area. So with all of that blabbering being said by me basically on the body and all of the different upgrades that we have on the Traxxas Slash itself, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today or even learned something, or even just worked on your RC and had me in the background. I'd appreciate that too, as long as you guys are part of the Grim Reaper RC channel. That's all that matters. Let's try to grow this hobby and try to grow this channel. This is basically your channel, so make sure you guys leave a comment down below if you want to see any specific videos, if you want me to build any RC cars, if you want me to bash any RC cars, if you want me to go anywhere and drive RC cars, I will do that as well. So leave that in the comments down below. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notification button. That way you guys get notified whenever I upload a really cool or informational video just like this one. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the very next episode of Grim Reaper RC.